What up, my people? So a comment from I think it's Buta Kauba. Okay, guys, remember the name right now. But I saw someone made a comment that they have history, so I digged up and I found this history paper. As usual, Mr. Bennett is here for you. Please ensure you guys like the video so other persons can benefit. So many times I see people comment on my videos, sir, where were you all along? I'm just finding your channel. Guys, you just have to help people to find this channel by liking, sharing, and support. All right. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my channel. All right, so let's get right into it. This is June 2015, so we're gonna go straight into it. All right. So number one says, which of the following statement is true of both Jamaica and Cuba at the time of the Columbus arrival in the Caribbean? I'm just gonna go straight to the answer. They were inhabited by the Taínos, so that is B. Number two, which of the following best describes the religious practices of the Kalingos and the Taínos? And that with C, nature worship, ancestors and worship, ancestors worship. Let's move on to 3. Which of the following statements are true of the Kalingos? And 1, they adapt many Taínos' custom. 2, they were skilled sailors and fishermen. And 3, they were freely resisted the Spanish invaders. And that would be D, all 3. So number 3 is D. All right, guys, welcome. Hit that like button for Mr. Bennett. All right, here we have the map. And it says 4 refers to the following map of the Atlantic Ocean. The area where the Kalingos lived before they migrated to the Caribbean island is labeled, is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? And that is right here. So that is C. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. I want this to be a very quick video because persons are doing the exam today. So be sure ensure you like. Which of the following did the Maya use as money? Is it cocoa beans, copper bars, gold nuggets, or is it coral shells? And that is A, cocoa beans. Cocoa beans. Right, Christopher Columbus sailed west mainly because he wanted to. Is it A, discover the Americas? 2, find a passage to the east? C, compete with the English? Or D, prove the world was round? And that is B, find a passage to the east. Let's move on to 7. Which is the correct of the 15th century European social group from most to least powerful? And number 7, is it merchants, priests, peasant, kings, priest, peasant, merchant, priest, king, merchant, peasant, or is it king, priest, merchant, and peasant? So that would be D, kings, priests, merchant, and peasants. Priests are always powerful too also, guys, All right, so let's move on to number 8. All right, let me just show you what the map. Number 8 refers to the following map of the Caribbean. On which of the following island was the first Spanish settlement established? All right, so is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? And that is D, Hispaniola. All right, so that's right here. This was the first settlement. All right, let's move on to number 9. Let's move on to number 9. In which century were the English most successful in establishing settlements in the Caribbean? Is it the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, or is it the 17th century? So the English was most successful in establishing settlements in the Caribbean in the 17th century. So number 9 is B. Number 10, the main aim of the English and French in establishing colonies in the Caribbean was to, is A, mine gold and precious minerals, or is it B, convert the natives of the Caribbean, B, C, produce tropical crops for the mother country, or is it D, leave the mother country of excess population? And number 10 is C, produce tropical crops for the mother country. All right, so let's move on to, by the way, guys, this is an Explain channel. I will proceed to somebody's channel you reported to an Explain. All right, persons are stealing my videos, they don't know all the work. I'm up 4:51 a.m. and people will still steal my video. That's unfair. The topic: tobacco ceased to be staple crop of the early English colonies in the Caribbean, mainly because, number 11, we're just gonna go straight to the answer. Caribbean tobacco could not compete in the European market. Up to today, guys, we're not competing as a Caribbean, but you know, our people continue to be strong and educate yourself. Number 12, which of the following groups of items was used by the Europeans for the purchase of Africans on the slave coast? Is it A, grains, mirrors, salt, B, grain, knives, palm oil, or is it C, cutlasses, salt, palm oil, or is it D, gunpowder, iron pots, and beads? So number 12 is D, gunpowder, iron pots, and beads. Let's move on to number 13. The term barcode is best associated with, is it A, cultivation by captive persons in Africa, or is it B, trade in captive persons on the African coast? Are we not going to go any further, guys? 13 is B. Let's move on to 14. Which of the following means of protest were used by the captive Africans during the Middle Passage? And you know the Middle Passage, right? From Africa to the Caribbean. All right, 1, attacking the crew. 2, committing suicide. Or is it 3, complaining to the captain? No, it would be 1 and 2. So that's what? Attacking the crew and committing suicide. So that is A. And none of my subscribers must not think about committing suicide. All right. I have a purpose, so let's just live. All right, guys. Better days ahead. 15. Which of the following is true of the enslaved persons in the British Caribbean? A, they were encouraged by the owners to educate themselves. B, they were allowed to raise family without the owner's permission. That is a joke. They were allowed to own small properties without the owner's permission. Or D, they were encouraged to do their masters' farm on small provision grounds. And number 15 is D. Let's move on to 16. An enslaved African in the British Caribbean who stole from the owner was least likely to A, whipped, B, mutilated, C, charged a fine, or is it D, placed in stockade? And remember the key word is least, so they were charged a fine. So let's move on to 16. I don't see 16 at all. Oh, that's what 16. So this is 17 now. A major cause of the Bussa result of 1860 in Barbados was, big up friend them in Barbados. Is it A, activity of the free blacks colored, or is it B, beliefs that the emancipation was being delayed? And that is indeed B, belief that the emancipation was being delayed. Big up everybody in the Caribbean. You know Mr. Benito of love for all out. Number 18, Which of the following factors contributed to the success of the Maroons in Jamaica and Suriname in their resistance to slavery? And we're at 18. Is it large size of two territories, nearness of difficulty of remote trade, or is it cooperation of the free colors? And that would be the large size of the two territories and the nearness of difficulty of the remote terrain. Remember, those were the hilly terrain, very difficult to maneuver. All right. So number 19, you got Maroons them. Vicky Simon, big up yourself. The free colored of the Sandama revolt in 1790 because A, they wanted to prevent the enslaved Africans from revolting. B, were dissatisfied with their status in society, or is it C, wish to assist the enslaved Africans, or is it D, supported the King of France? And number 19 is B, they were dissatisfied with their status in society, rightfully so. All right, let's move on to 20. Which of the following enslaved persons were most likely to be used poison of the owners as a means of resistance? Is it aristocracy, domestic, or the field hand, or the factory worker? Most naturally, it would be the domestic worker. And those were in those days they were called the boss slaves because they were close to the masters and they considered themselves to be higher than the free slaves. Even today, we have boss slaves, and that would fall in the category of professionals who are earning a little bit more than the average person. But we are all under slavery technically. You know, I want to break free from that slavery mentality. All right, 3. Which of the following was the main purpose of the policy of the amelioration? Is it A, to maintain established system of enslavement, B, to put an end to enslavement in the British Caribbean, or is it C, to introduce a new supply of cheap labor to the British Caribbean, or is it D, to improve the conditions of the enslaved in the British Caribbean? So number 21 is D, to improve conditions of the enslaved British Caribbean. Number 22, which of the following groups was the first amended policy of the amelioration? Is it the humanitarians? Is it B, the Anglican Church? Or is it C, the West Indian Lobby? Or is it D, the British government? And 22 is C, the West India Lobby. So let's move on to 23. So far, so good. If you're just joining, please ensure you like Mr. Lennox Penny channel. You are appreciated here. There are many subjects here. Please subscribe. All right. 23. Which of the following was not a requirement of the apprenticeship system? Is it A, apprentices were being trained to become skilled laborers? B, planters were provide food and clothing of the apprentices? Or is it C, apprentices were to work the first 40 hours of the week for no wages? Or is it pre-dance were continue working for the former masters for 6 months? 23 is A, apprentices were to be trained to become skilled workers. All right, let's move on. The next minute, appreciate you all. Let's go, let's go. 24. Stipendiary magistrates were persons originally sent from Britain to ensure that, is it A, the courts of the colonies were in order? Is it B, there were no abuses of the apprenticeship system? Or is it C, illegal trade captive Africans was brought to an end? Or is it D, planters were correctly compensated for the loss of their enslaved Africans? And 24 is B. Let's move on to 25. We're going on, good, we're going on, good. 25. Which of the following organization did not support the abolition of slavery? Is it the Quakers, the Amistineurs, is it the Crampam sect, or the Colonial Church Union? So 25 is the Colonial Church Union. It did not support the abolition of slavery. All right. 26, which of the following groups was mainly used by the British Caribbean planters as immigrant workers in the period after 1833. All right, so is it the Indians, the Africans, the Chinese, or the Europeans? It is indeed the Indians. Big up to all my friends in India, my supporters. Thank you so much. You are appreciated. Let's move on to 27. Indian indentured labor was introduced to the British Caribbean in order to, let's put, I can't say all the options, keep the colonies peaceful, B, ease the labor problems of the planters, or is it C, help introduce a new crop into the colonies, or is it D, prevent the freed Africans from getting a job? And 27 is B, ease the labor problems of the planters. Guys, the reason I'm reading it, because if sometimes you can't just be listening to the video, all right? 28, which cultural elements did indentured workers from Madeira bring to the British Caribbean? 28 is D, the Portuguese. Let's move on to 29. We're almost there, almost halfway. The most significant contribution of the Portuguese immigrants to the economy of the British Caribbean in the 1800s was in the, is it A, provision of estate labor, B, introduction of rice growing, C, development of retail trade, or is it D, formation of Portuguese Association? And 29 is C, development of the retail trade. You go Cristiano Ronaldo from Portugal. All right, let's move on to 30. The majority of immigrants brought to work in the British Caribbean in the years between emancipation of the First World War was employed as it laborers, shopkeepers, small farmers, or is it factory hands? And those were laborers. In those times, mostly laborers. 31. Help in the formation of a free village in Jamaica were mainly from, is it planters, missionaries, local assemblies, or is it stipendary magistrate? 31 is missionaries, so that is B. Let's move on. Past halfway now, guys. Let's go. Hit that like button for Lennox Bennett. All right, so let's take a pause for a cause. Such a beautiful name, eh? All right, 32. There were more free villages in Jamaica than there were in Barbados, mainly because in Jamaica, more land was available for settlement. B, in Barbados, the freed Africans did not want to leave the plantation. C, the Jamaican planters encouraged the freed Africans to set up free village. Or is it D, freed Africans in Jamaica had more money to buy land than freed Africans in Barbados? 32 is A, in Jamaica, more land was available for settlement. This is the land of my birth. Sweet Jamaica, my Jamaica. All right, 33, which of the following territories contain the most crown land? I guess in the order. So it's Antigua, Grenada, Guyana, is it Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad, Antigua, Guyana, Jamaica, or is it Guyana, Jamaica, and Trinidad? 33 is D, Guyana, Jamaica, and Trinidad. All right, let's move on to 34. Which of the following best describe the British Caribbean peasant proprietor in period of emancipation? Aperta. I mean, that's probably word. All right, so 34, we're gonna go straight to the answer. Someone who cultivated plots of land in his or her own account. Guys, remember, I want the video to be short as possible because I want to upload it for the persons. I don't know what time is the exam. All right. Which of the following crops were most likely to be sold in the peasant market? And is it cotton, tobacco, or sweet potatoes, or is it sugarcane? Sweet potatoes! I love my mama's sweet potato pudding. Guys, if you haven't eaten sweet potato pudding, please, you need to try that, all right? And if you're in Jamaica and you bake sweet potato pudding, link me up, make me have peace, all right? 36, the policy by which the United States government was actively involved in directing the financial affairs of the Caribbean between 1905 and 1930 was known as, is it A, the dollar diplomacy, B, Operation Bookstrap, is it B, the Big Stick policy, or is it B, the Good Neighbor policy? And that is the dollar diplomacy. Get that dollar. All right, 37. Which of the following was the oh Lord, you guys need to see everything. Which of the following was the immediate cause of the United States declaration of war against Spain in 1898? A, the United States took over Panama. B, the U.S. Maine was blown up in Havana Harbor. Or is it D, C, the United States angered by the general weather atrocities? Or is it D, the United States were angered by the Spain invasion of Cuba? That is actually A, the United States took over Panama. I want to know about the canal though. The between a World Cup something, you know? What Jamaica deal with World Cup? Sure. Joking. Jamaica team with the FIFA. Our national team are going. So much fast man there. I can't run on the football field. A joke thing. Chopper, let me get some strategies. The match's not right. Sure. All right, 38. When we just have one Caribbean football team, pick the best from Trinidad, Barbados, Antigua, everywhere. Guyana, everywhere, and just put our best. Just like the West Indies. Come on. Which of the following was the aim of the Monroe Doctrine in 1823? A, enslaved persons in Cuba who were to be freed. Puerto Rico would be protected by the United States. C, the United States would oppose European intervention in the New World. Is it D, the United States would uphold the independence of the Caribbean territories? 38 is C, the United States would oppose European intervention of the New World. All right. 17 video, them I forgot chop it up. Now I get all right. All right. 39. Which of the following Caribbean territories was not occupied by the United States military forces in the early 1900s? Yeah, the 39 is it Cuba, 80, Jamaica, or Dominica, and it's 80. My Asians, we have you in our hearts, we are praying for you, all right? We hear about what's happening in your country, total unrest. All right, so let's move on to 40. The main reason for United States interest in Panama in the first decade of the 20th century was, is it A, provide a greater opportunities for trade, B, provide employment for Americans in Panama, C, improve the relationship between the two countries, or is it D, improve communication between the Atlantic and the Pacific? And that's the Panama Canal, so D. All right, so we're gonna move on to 40. We are 2/3 going on fast, so guys, we only have 20 to go. Let's go. In their effort to improve working conditions around the 1900s, workers in the British Caribbean mostly often resorted to, is it A, strikes, B, rioting, C, arson, is it D, picketing? And that is strikes. The strikes are still going on today. Government now do them for do. 42. Which commission was sent to investigate the conditions in the Caribbean as a result of the 1930s disturbances? Is it the Foster Commission, Moyne Commission, the Norman Commission, or the Dean Commission? The 42 is the Moyne Commission, so that is B. 43. Which of the following statements are true of education of most Caribbean blacks in the early 20th century? Guys, don't take on education for granted. All right. Opportunities of education were limited because they were very poor. That is true. Very few blacks were allowed to have admission to the best school, and that is true. All right. It's a bit sad just even reading this. All right. 3. The education followed the pattern of the British system. All right. So that's all 3. So let me see what option is that. So that's D. Let's move on to 44. Which of the following statement is true of the trade unions in the British Caribbean? A. Before the 1930s, no trade union existed in the British Caribbean. By 1910, trade union in the British Caribbean had gained legal recognition. After the 1930s, trade union in the British Caribbean became the stronger, more numerous. Or is it B? Trade unions were formed. Trade unions were formed in the British Caribbean only after the legislation recognizing them were passed. All right, so let's just look at what that is. So that's 44. Just write with name, guys, because about videos. So hard more. People not even like my own. People not even like video. All right, so 44 is C. Makes no sense at all. All right, on the 45, which of the following trade union leaders is not correctly matched with the territory he worked for? Okay. All right, Clement Payne, Barbados. That's correct. Alexander Bustamante. That's correct. Jamaica. Natiel. No. Here we have it. So this one is incorrect. All right. Let's move on to 46. Going on fine, guys. Going on fine. Almost there, all right? In what order did the following countries gain political independences? Guyana, Jamaica, and Grenada. So, in what order did the following countries gain political independence? So it's Jamaica first, then Guyana, and then Grenada. So that is B. All right, let's move on to 47. By the referendum of 1961, Jamaica decided to, guys now lose it, you know, and that will be change its federal representative. I get a little bit tired. All right, 48. In which order did the following stages in the movement toward independence in the British Caribbean territory take place? 1. Introduction of the party system. 2. Election of prime minister or premier. 3. Achievement of the universal adult suffrage, or is it 4? Full internal self-government. And that is the order. So the first one is 1. Introduction of the party system, and then we have what? 3, yeah, achievement of the universal adult suffrage. So it is B. Let's move on to 49. One feature of the 1958 Federation was that the government of each individual territory would, is it A, cease to exist, B, continues as before, C, shared the power with the federal government, or is it E, hand over power to the federal government? 48 is she. Share power with the federal government. We're on to 50, guys. Let's go. Let's go. You can see the line from here. Let's go. 50. The British West Indies Federation in 1958 was established because its French Caribbean colonies had begun to federate. B. The old representative system proved to be useless. C. The Crown colony government had given the West Indian experience in running their affairs. Or is it D. West Indian leaders felt that the independence would be achieved faster through a federation. So that is D. Let's move on to 51. Colonialism may be described as the spread of the Roman Catholic worldwide. B. Settlement and exploration of one country by another. And we're gonna go here because we know that, right? They'll exploit other countries. All right, let's move on to 52. All right, it says item 52 refers to the following quotation. Tell me by what right and justice do you keep these Indians in such cruel and humble servitude? And number, oh my God, which of the following was passed to ensure the Indians were not kept in cruel and humble servitude? Oh boy. And that is the law of the Burgos. I'm just gonna go straight to it. This one is depressing, guys. Just thinking about all those things that people went through. And we are out. We are free, and we are taking a lot for granted. We are taking a lot for granted. People went through a lot. All right. So 53. Which of the following statements correctly compares indentured laborers and enslaved persons? Neither indentured laborers nor enslaved persons who legally own property. That's a lie. The indentured could. Neither indentured laborers nor enslaved persons were paid wages. No, that's a lie. All right. Enslaved persons could not give evidence against their owners. Indentured laborers could. Yeah. So 53 is C. All right. 54. All right, guys. Thank you for being a part of the Linux Spinning channel. You guys are appreciated. All right. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. If you have not subscribed, please feel free to do so. All right, and share with others. Many more good things to come. Which of the following countries have never been colonized by Spain? Is it Cuba and Jamaica, St. Kitts and Antigua, Trinidad and Hispaniola, or is it D, Panama and Puerto Rico? And that is B, St. Kitts and Antigua. All right, on to 55. In which order were the following groups introduced as the main source of labor in the British Caribbean? Is it the Africans, Indian, Chinese? What's the order? What's the order? What's the order? And it was the Africans, Indians, Chinese. So Africans, Indian, Chinese. So it is A. If you look on them on here carefully, guys, on the order. All right. So let's move on to 56. Oh my. What is the correct order in the abolition process? All right. That one I can be tricky too. Apprenticeship, emancipation, annihilation, abolition of slave trade, emancipation, apprenticeship, abolition of the slave trade, annihilation. No, sir. Abolition of slave trade, annihilation, emancipation, and then apprenticeship. Yeah. So this is 56. Stereo did abolish first. All right, so move on to 57. We're almost there, guys. Hit that like button if you have not. Which of the following statement is true of Cuba in the 1800s? All right, it had to become a major sugar producing territory. Logwood production has become a major industry. Or you see, tobacco had replaced sugar as leading product. The indigenous Indians were the major source of agriculture in the Cuba. And 57 is A, that become a major sugar producing territory. All right, so let's move on to 58. Which of the following statements describe universal adult suffrage? I'm just gonna go straight to the answer. The right of all citizens of a specified age to vote. And we're almost due, just 2 more to go. Let's get ready to rumble. So let's move on to 59. Just cap this so we can see everything because we're gonna end right here. All right. In which chronological order? Yo, man, you get no. Did the following industries develop in the Caribbean? Petroleum, tobacco, sugar, and banana. Let's get them orders up, man, guys. All right, so let's see. So it was tobacco first, and then tobacco. So that's a 2. So it's between B and C. Let's see what one comes. Tobacco. Tobacco and then sugar. So it's C. All right. We're at the end, guys. We're at the end. You made it to the end. Congratulations. All the best in your exams. Mr. Bennett is rooting for you. And 60 and last. Thank you so much for being a part of Mr. Bennett channel. All right, and 60 is the last one. So we're gonna go now. Thank you guys so much. Guys, if you have not subscribed, please feel free to do so. Please share with other persons of the younger generation so they can be a part of something amazing. All right. In which chronological order did the following disturbances take place? 1, is it the Marathi Rebellion? 2, the Asian Revolution. We know say the Asian Revolution start everything, right? So we'll have to go further. If it wasn't for 80, probably slavery would still exist. All right. So let's us pray for our Asian brothers. Okay, what we can do to help them, let us help them. All right. So that is, we don't have to go any further. It is A because the Asian Revolution, that's what started everything. All right, Mr. Lennox Bennett, thank you all for being a part of this channel. Look out for more videos, guys. Look out for my live classes. Please ensure you share with the younger generation. Remember, it's from the age 7 to no limit university. All right, thank you all for watching. Mr. Bennett, appreciate you all. I will see you guys in the next video.